All right, let's talk Michigan Wolverines football. Obviously, in the middle of an era of change for Michigan, a lot of big name players leaving, one big name coach, and a lot of his assistants leaving. But Coach Moore's done a phenomenal job reconstituting this program very quickly to get them headed in the right direction. Of course, now in the thick of spring ball, we're starting to see what Michigan playmakers are ready to step up. And there's one in particular that's kind of surprising a lot of people that's making a real name for himself. Let's get right into this report, and then we'll talk about it in detail on the other side. This is according to Michigan Insider. Derek Moore joined a number of his teammates and coaches in naming TJ Guy as one of the spring standouts. From the edges, I've seen a lot of guys who have stepped up. Guys like TJ Guy, he's having one hell of a spring ball right now, Moore said. Guy is entering his senior year with the Wolverines and appeared in 9 games at edge rusher last season. All right, that's kind of the magic of spring ball. You've got kind of forgotten guys finally coming into their own. I think that's what we're seeing here from TJ Guy. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Michigan fans in the comment section below, look, we've heard a lot of smack talk coming from Ohio State. I don't really understand it. They've lost to you guys 3 years in a row. But I'm curious what you guys have to say right now. Give us your prediction, looking way out in the future. Final score, Ohio State versus Michigan this upcoming season. Hearing a lot of smack talk from Ohio State whenever we talk Buckeyes football. So I want to hear what you guys have to say, Michigan fans. Prediction, final score, way out in the future. Futures bet, we'll call it that, between Michigan and Ohio State, and put it in the comment section below. But Miles, give me your thoughts on the emergence of TJ Guy and just everything going on with this Michigan Wolverines program right now.
Yeah, Nick, I think this is going to be big for Michigan. And it's like you said, the forgotten guys, the guys that are roster. And how I kind of like to think about it is the guys that dared to stay around at Michigan long enough to get their time to get on the field. TJ Guy, been improving, and finally going into his senior year, he's able to start giving some big time flashes in spring ball. And no pun intended, showing that not only is it going to be a rotational piece, he's going to step up and be the guy at edge for Michigan potentially. Derek Moore, another guy who's really good. I think TJ Guy could step up and be a big time player, but I think that is the theme here. When you read this article and you go through everything, they talk about TJ Guy, who's a rising senior. They talk about Jadaden McBurrows, who's a rising senior. They talk about Jashawn Barham, who's a rising junior. They talk about Derek Moore, who's the mainstay of the article, a rising junior. Mason Graham, the defensive tackle, rising junior. Once again, finally, Kenneth Grant, another defensive tackle, a rising junior. There's a lot of guys who are very senior, very seasoned players on this Michigan defense. And I think that's going to be a key for them coming into this next year under Sharon Moore. There's been a lot of change up on the Michigan football team. There's a lot of coaches leaving. There's a lot of coaches coming. But I think a key for Michigan is going to have so many players who are veteran guys who've been around the program for a really long time, finally making their stand, making their potential, big time debut for Michigan late in their career there. So I think TJ Guy highlighting that pack is very important. But I think overall, the amount of older guys on this Michigan defense who are really starting to stand out and look good is going to be a key for them going forward.
Yeah, when you look at the 6 most famous words in Michigan football history, it's those who stay will be champions. Of course, that's from the late, great Coach Bo Schembechler. It's been used a number of times in different eras of Michigan football. And look, it's one of those things that's kind of lost when people think about how programs grow and develop. But the reality is certain programs have a culture, certain programs have an ethos that kind of transcend time. They just become grained into the environment. You see this with the USC Trojans. You see this with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Completely different cultures, completely different environments. You see this with Wisconsin Badgers, for example, on a much lesser scale. But you see this with Michigan as well. This is a program that's known for developing people. This is known as a program for throughout the ages, for having young guys just who battle through it, who wait for their time, who put in their work, and when it's their number is called, they step up and perform at the highest level and go on to do amazing things. I think the most famous example, of course, in American sports history is Tom Brady, right? And I think we're seeing a very similar dynamic continue in this latest iteration of Michigan football under Coach Sharon Moore. And I think that's a good sign going forward. That's an indicator that the strong Michigan man Harbaugh culture that he worked extremely hard to really just ingrain at every level of this program is still 100% in place, even though he's gone. That was going to be one of the concerns that I had is with Harbaugh leaving, would any of that magic, would that be gone forever? Because he did have a little bit of that, I would say a lot of that element that he brought to the program, bringing it back to those Michigan old school roots. Sharon Morris certainly is a very good offensive coach. He's got his own abilities as a coach, but again, could he do what Harbaugh did? And the fact that we're hearing reports like this out of spring ball, to me, I think those 6 words still rang true as they did back when Bo was coaching, back when Harbaugh was coaching, and now when Sharon Morris coaching. And I think that's a great sign for Michigan going forward.
Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who may want to target you. Your full name, email, home address, health records, even your relatives. It's all out there. That's why we use Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows us which data brokers are selling our information and automatically submits opt-out requests for us.
Cleaning up our information not only reduces the amount of that stupid spam we all get, but it also protects us from hackers who could use this information to help them access our social media accounts, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. Aura also does much more to protect us and our families from online threats. We also get features like antivirus protection, VPNs, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without having to download several different apps. That's really key. One location to get all this great stuff. It's really easy to set up. And the best of all, we get everything at one affordable price.
You may already have 1 or 2 of these tools already, but not having Aura is like locking the front door and leaving the back door wide open. Aura is always on doing the hard work of keeping us safe so you can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. We value our privacy and we also value yours. So go to aura.com/SMI college to start your 2-week free trial. Again, linked in the description below. Go to aura.com/SMI college to start your 2-week free trial today.